Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon if you're listening to me in the afternoon. Welcome back to Growing Up Congolese. I am so excited. Actually, I'm not going to use the word excited for this episode because we're going to talk about something that's very heavy. And I had another plan for this week. I wanted to talk about more personal stuff, but a lot is going on in politics, a lot is going on in world news, a lot is going on in the Congo. So today, although I've been putting off this topic for a long time because it's so complex, it's so convoluted, I feel like today is the right time to talk about it because of what is happening in the Congo. So today we're going to talk about the conflict in Eastern Congo. Y'all, let me tell you something. Congolese, I've always said this, and if you have listened to my previous episode, you will know that Congolese, we are proud people, right? We're very proud. We're very sure of ourselves. We have a 99 problem, but self-esteem is not one. We are very strong people. We're very loud. Like, we are so loud in our wrong. We are so loud in our stupidity. We are so loud in everything that's messed up and everything, right? But growing up as a Congolese girl, even in a foreign land, you had my parents be like, don't you ever forget that you're Congolese. Don't you ever forget where you're coming from. You're coming from kings and queens. You're coming from the best country in Africa. You're coming from the best country in the world, the richest country in the world. And the fact that we are the richest country in the world in natural resources was a source of our pride. Well, like, Congo is blessed with everything. You want diamond, you'll find diamond. You want gold, you'll find gold. You want coltan, you want cobalt, whatever you want, we have it. We have what? A rainforest, like the largest rainforest after the Amazon. The Congo Basin is a wealth of natural resources. We have, you want to see mountain, we have do you want to see a volcano? There's a volcano. Like, you want nature, there's nature. You want party, no one parties like the Congolese, So we're very, very, very proud people. But I remember growing up, one of the things that will put a dent on our pride, especially for us growing up in a diaspora, is when people remind you, like, yes, you might be rich in natural resources, but you're still poor. We're like, oh, that put a dent in your pride, right? Because you're like, how are we rich and poor at the same time? How are we rich and poor at the same time? We are supposed to be the leader of the world. You have Chinese people flooding the Congolese embassy to come to the Congo and get wealthy. You have Indian flooding the Congolese embassy to come to the Congo. There are videos of foreigners, as soon as they reach the Congo, they are crying because they feel like, they have reached Canaan. If you're a Bible reader or Christian, you know that reference, right? Canaan. The children of Israel left Egypt for Canaan, right? Where there's milk and honey. So Congo is that milk and honey for a lot of foreigners. So why is it not that milk and honey for Congolese people themselves? So as a child, I wonders, like, what's going on? Why are we not rich? We're rich, but we're not rich. Why? And then the second thing that used to put a dent in my pride as a Congolese is being reminded of the insecurity because of the Eastern conflict, right? And over the years, I've always wanted to understand what is going on. Like, because sometimes the Congolese media will say different things. My Western media will say something different. But lately, I'm seeing that they are saying the same thing, right? But growing up, it was just like, I was proud of our music. I was proud, and they'd be like, well, y'all are still in war. You're like, never mind. I remember being in a class, and mind you, he's my favorite professor now and everything, but this was this was our first interaction. And our first interaction was he was doing a lesson on international development and everything, international relations, and then he was like, Luxembourg, go to Luxembourg. Congo, don't go to Congo. And I remember sitting there, and I knew he did not know that I was Congolese, right? But I remember sitting there and feel like this turmoil between feeling proud of being Congolese and this shame because Congo is not listed as a safe country to go to. And so why is Congo not safe? Now, a lot of wars in the Congo has been because of two things: natural resources and ethnic conflict. But if we want to really talk about the ethnic conflict, we need to go a little bit back to colonization. Not too back, trust me, because colonization ended in 1960, okay? So it's not like we're talking about the 1720. We're talking about 1960, right? 30 years before I was born. 37 years before I was born, right? But this time we're not going to talk, now, although there's a lot of, we've talked about identity between the Congolese tribes and everything, we're going to go to Rwanda for a little bit, right? So many of you have, if you don't know, Rwanda had a genocide where the Hutu persecuted the Tutsis, right? So the Hutus were persecuting the Tutsis, right? Now, we like to start the story there, as if one day the Hutus, woke up and they were like, we're going to persecute the Tutsis because we don't like them. Most of the time, no one likes to talk about why. Now, I'm not validating genocide. I'm just explaining the history, right? So, one of the main reasons why the Hutus felt the need to persecute the Tutsis had to do because of how the Hutus were treated during colonization, right? During colonization, the Belgians disfavored the Hutus. They preferred the Tutsis because the Tutsi features were close, were palatable to Belgian standards. So the Tutsis are minorities, right? They were the minority, but they were favored more than the majority, who were the Hutus, right? So you can see where the problem came from, right? So during the Belgian rule, the Tutsis had better positions than the Hutus. So that created a lot of tensions, right? That created a lot of animosity between the two ethnic groups. So that is one of the main cause of the Rwanda genocide, where the Hutu felt like revenge time, right? What happened during that time was it created a refugee crisis, right? So Tutsis fled to neighboring country, and one of the neighboring countries that they fled to was the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, which was at that time Zaire. So in Zaire, the people who fled were the Tutsis, right? A minority group who were fleeing persecution. And because of international law, when somebody is seeking refuge, you have to take them, right? So the region in which these minorities fled to was eastern part of Congo. So I'm not trying to simplify. I'm trying to simplify the history so that it can be easy to understand sort of where we're going. But it's very convoluted. There's a lot of major stuff, right? But to make it, to make it into a 30-minute podcast episode, that's why I'm trying to just. So please, if you're listening to it, don't comment like you're oversimplifying and everything. No, I'm not oversimplifying. I'm just giving you the main points that I want you guys to understand about this conflict. So the Tutsis came in. They were in the Congo. Like any migration story, you mingle with the locals. Some of them married Congolese people that they found there. Some of them, just integrated into Congolese culture, right? There's a lot of Congolese people that I know. Like, I remember when I was growing up in Rhode Island, some like a new student would come in and they'd be like, "Oh, he's from the Congo," and I would look at him and be like, "Yeah, he's okay. He's Congolese legally. He's legally Congolese, but you know, he has his origin somewhere else, right?" And we don't do it to be mean, but we do it because it's like, and it's not to be mean, to be honest with you. I promise. Like, because okay, like, I will give you guys an example. They had this student come in one time, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have a Congolese girl at the school. She can help you." And then, so I'm speaking French to him. He doesn't know how to speak French. I speak Lingala. He doesn't know how to speak Lingala. I'm just like, so I'm trying to speak all the, like, and then I went to state the hellos in just the languages that I know of the Congo, and he had nothing. And then he started talking. So I go to the office. I'm like, he's speaking Nyarwanda. He's like, so it was like, yes, he's Congolese, because I can tell his family moved to the Congo for refuge, but he doesn't speak Lingala, he doesn't speak Swahili, he doesn't speak French, he does, so it was just, so sometimes when people come in and they be like, "Oh yeah, we accepted some Congolese," and then you look at them, you're just like, "Oh, okay, so like I know the story already," right? So it's not to be mean, I promise. But yeah, so they came in, the mingo and everything, but one of the fears that they had was that Hutu's soldier can cross the border to target them, right? And therefore, they asked for protection from the Congolese government, to which the Congolese government gave, right? Under Mobutu, there were papers that were signed that they cannot, be persecuted, or anybody who crossed the border to persecute them on Congolese soil will, there'll be repercussion and everything. So Congo was protective of the migrants who came, right? But now here's where things become a little bit tricky, and here's where we talk about identity, right? The Tutsis who left Rwanda, who migrated, who fled Rwanda because of persecution, who mingled with the Congolese population, do they have the right to Congolese soil? Do they have the right to Congolese soil? And do they have the right to Congolese wealth? Do they have the right to Congolese riches? Do they have the right to Congolese minerals? And that has been the $1 billion question since 1994. And now it's very weird because, as migrants who come to the United States, who work and everything, you feel, like, I take my paycheck and I go home, right? I'm an American. I benefit from the laws and everything. The question is, can I go to Texas and be like, well, your oil belongs to me now because I'm American too? Some people would say yes, but not really, right? Yes, but not really. Yes, but not really. And literally and to kind of put it in simplified terms, although I'm not trying to oversimplify things, that is the root of the problem, right? Because some Congolese feel like you should be grateful, right? Work. Every Congolese is suffering in their own ways. So join us in that suffering. Congolese who are living in those like rich soils don't even get to benefit from that soil. They don't even know what they don't even wear the diamonds They don't even have the phones that the mineral that they're literally standing on provides. So, why should you? Why should you? Now, in this episode, I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? Because, again, I grew up in the diaspora. I grew up outside the Congo, right? I'm an immigrant somewhere else. I've been a refugee in another country. I know refugees who were in my refugee camp who've integrated into the countries where we were refugees, right? Do they have the right to now say that because now I'm from Benin, I have the right to Benin's wealth? How does that work? Especially, this is not, and like if you think about it from from an American perspective, you're like, well, you're benefiting from Americans' wealth, and like how? How? There's no laws that I go to work like an American. I create my business like an American. But do I go to California and ask them for the gold? Do I go to Texas and ask them for the oil because it's mine or something? And I think the difference is because in a lot of African countries, there's a lot of there's a distance between government and the people. So people start to rebel. So in 2029, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, there was an agreement between the Congolese government and the Congolese Tutsis, because they had Congolese protection and they did become Congolese citizens, right? So, about being protected and everything, and including them in Congolese society. But they wanted to be included in the army. They wanted to also have the right to protect the minerals of Eastern Congo. And there weren't any trust, because in their words, they see themselves as Congolese. And all they want to do is protect themselves because they're still afraid of the Hutus to come and harm them. And they want to also benefit from the riches of the Congo. Now, the ordeal was signed that they will be included in Congolese life and everything, But a lot of people did not trust them for the minerals to be for the Congo, right? There's this saying in Lingala that says, don't take care of a monkey because you'll be the first person that he scratch. Now, it's a saying that talks about just be careful on who, don't trust easily. Don't, be careful because how do I say this? Because in Lingala it makes sense, but to try to translate another language to English is hard. But yeah, so it just talks about how taking somebody in and trying to trust them 100% and everything. Be careful because they'll be the same person to ruin your trust, right? So that's literally what it is. But the fact that we use a monkey in that proverb is interesting. But yeah. So that's where the problem lies. So then a revolt started, and here we are with the crisis that we have today. Now, the difference about this crisis, it feels like the identity of the Tutsis have remembered that they are Tutsis. They have forgotten that they are Congolese Tutsis, right? So now there are reports that they are being backed by Rwanda so that, if they take over the minerals, because they were, when you're close to the wealth, you know the strategies, right? You know where the plans are. So now you're communicating with your home country, which you fled, and they are backing you guys up in killing raping, abusing the trust of the people who welcomed you. And I'm not saying all Congolese Tutsis are bad, because there's always a bad apple in a tree, right? And I've been friends with Rwandan before. I have friends who are Rwandan. And every time when you meet a Rwandan, you're just like, and then there's that face that you both make, and then you look at each other, we're like, we're gonna be peaceful, okay? We're not gonna do this, right? So this is not against Rwanda and everything, because I've always said that politics and the everyday people are two different people, right? The people who run the government and people who run these organizations and everything, they are very different from the common man who wants to, to just live their lives and be able to provide for their kids. So this is not a dig at all Rwandan or all Tutsis and everything, but this is the reality of what's going on. So a lot of Congolese feel played. They feel like you have crossed the border illegally. Go back to where you're from, right? And they feel like because you were here in the Congo, in Eastern region, like you were like practicing like espionage, right? Because now you're part of this rebel group that's killing people for the minerals that you shouldn't be entitled to. And now you're backing a government that caused you to run out of Rwanda. Because I've met a lot of Rwandan, I don't know how you call them, Rwandanese or Rwandan people. Because sometimes I say it in French, les Rwandais, who don't like Kagame, who are very anti-Kagame and everything. And sometimes when I hear Kagame speak, he does speak a lot of truth, but sometimes you're just like, you're right, but I don't want to say that you're right because, there are things about you. But yeah, now you're back. Now you're being backed by them. You're accepting the assistance and help in destroying the people. Because here's the thing: when the Rwandan government, when the Tutsis fled Rwanda, the first people that they encountered was not the government. It was the people of that region. It was the people of Eastern Congo who welcomed you before the government even got involved. They gave you water. They gave you food. They helped you build shelters. And now those people are fleeing their homes that you came to find them in. Now, I'm not trying to rationalize with a rebel group, right? Because if you become a terrorist, there's really not a lot of ways to rationalize with a terrorist. But I'm trying to tell the story because that's how frustrated on the Congolese side, right? Because that's how Congolese are frustrated. That's why Congolese are frustrated, because they're just like, how dare you? How dare you? So when you meet Congolese, because I remember like this guy was dating a Rwandan girl and his family was like, what the hell? So there's this, and one of my crushes in college was from Rwanda, and I was like, there is no way in hell I'm taking you to my family. Because although not all Rwandan are bad, although not all Tutsis are bad and everything, the Congolese people feel betrayed. Because, trust me, the Congolese don't even give a damn what the government does, because the government doesn't really care about the Congolese people like that. Right? So they rely on one another. We are a communal society, right? So we rely on one another. If I'm sick today, I rely on my neighbor to take me to the hospital. That's how Congolese society works, So there's a feeling of big betrayal, and that big betrayal becomes anger towards an entire country, an entire ethnicity, right? Because the Congolese Tutsi who are not doing this, they would tell you like, no, we want to stay here because, we're afraid to go back home because the Hutus might come get us, right? But then the Congolese are like, listen, that's no longer a problem. Go back home. So you have these both sides. And now the Rwandan government is like, yeah, but the Rwandan government have always claimed that they are not sponsoring the rebel group in the Congo and everything, but the UN has reported that's false. The United States has reported that that's false and everything, but publicly that's what the Rwandan president says. But so the Congolese people are like, no, all of you, whether you're good or bad, just go back, right? Or we don't trust you. And so there's this thing of now they're talking about like, well, you are here illegally, you are here, you don't even speak Lingala, which is a dumb argument because not all Congolese speak Lingala. Lingala is not universal Congolese language. It's a language that's spoken in the Ngala region and in Kinshasa, and that's it. So not all region of the Congo speak Lingala, but like they'll just pick at the stupidest things to just other, right? To other them to kind of put them in that like other category. You're not really Congolese category, right? So the other thing that plays, not just the betrayal, but it's like now the rebel group are in business, right? Because when they take over a city, they take over a mineral resource, they are collaborating with international organizations. They are collaborating with international companies, right, to sell the minerals that they don't have a right to. When the Congolese person is suffering. And as a Congolese person, as the everyday Congolese person, you feel betrayal, right? You feel betrayed by the people that you welcomed in and everything. And you feel betrayed that you are living in a country without a strong government who rather pays senators $40,000 a month, but the soldier who's supposed to go fight this rebel $75 a month. How am I going to go put my life on the line to fight so that these people don't take the minerals that I will never benefit from? How? How is this even a thing? The Congolese soldier who are responsible to go to Eastern Congo and fight are being paid $75. 75, not even 100, $75. They're leaving families, they're leaving their kids to go fight to protect minerals that they will never have access to. How is this fair? How is this fair? Hence why this war have taken decades. There's 6 million people displaced in Eastern Congo. They left their homes that they loved. They feel like no one is there for them. The good NGOs who are doing good work in Eastern Congo, thank you. I will donate. And if you listen to this episode, please donate. Donate to UNICEF. Donate to United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Donate to, what was that thing? Croix Rouge. Donate to Doctors Without Border. Those organizations who are actually working. There's this pastor, his name is Marcelo Tunasi. He's building schools. He's building homes so that people can get out of the refugee camps. Please, his church is called La Compassion. Go on Google, on YouTube. Research La Compassion TV. That's his church. He's a credible pastor who's doing amazing work. Every Sunday there's an offering, like in his church, that goes to people who are suffering in Eastern Congo. He has people leave Kinshasa, go to Eastern Congo to feed people, to give them some independence, so they don't depend on aid, right? He wants to make them to have a livable life, right? So please donate to those organizations. The bad organizations who are taking money and resources, but they are not doing the work that's necessary. First of all, go to hell. Go to hell. May the fire that happened in California follow your life. Go to hell. And here's the other problem that is so frustrating about this, right? Going back to Congolese pride. A Congolese person would never tell you that they're broke. A true Congolese person with Congolese blood will never tell you that they're broke. So, living at the mercy of aid breaks our spirits. I remember I spent my childhood in a refugee camp, and I tell you, my mama was the Congolese. They forgot that they were refugees. They were acting like they were not refugees. We don't bow our heads. Y'all think Nigerians are obnoxious? Then Nigerians are just loud. But a Nigerian would tell you that I'm a prince, but I'm broke. A Congolese will never tell you that they're broke. I'm talking about a real Congolese, not those fake Congolese that is now, watching what other people are doing and copying it. I'm talking about a real, no. They will not tell you that they're broke. So living in this situation, it's heartbreaking to our Congolese spirits. Because we feel like no one is understanding us. The people that we helped welcome turned on us. We don't have a government that we can trust to help us. So where do we go? Now here is the third culprit in this war, and I'm going to finish. Us in the West. Us who are buying an iPhone every year. Us who are saying that we need electric cars. Even though there are human cost, labor cost, and environmental costs, actually. Electric cars are not actually that great for the environment. Us who need a new laptop every day. Us who get a new iPhone because it has a bigger camera. How stupid is that? You want to help? Call your government. Call your senators. Let's talk about Congo. The same way y'all talked about Ukraine, y'all talk about Congo. Because trust me, Congo is giving you more in 1 year. First of all, Congo is giving you more in 1 day than the Ukraine will give you in 30 years. Talk about Congo. Educate yourself on the phones that you're getting. Who is mining those things? You have people mining, working long hours to mine the minerals and then go home and then get killed. You have the rebels come into someone's house, rape a woman in front of her husband, in front of the kid, then decapitate her before he kills the husband, so that the kids are there with lifelong trauma. You have a 4-year-old on the streets of Eastern Congo crying over his dead mother's body, not knowing where to go. You new college students who want to protest protest against the big companies who are going to get the minerals in the Congo and not even paying their fair share. We are also contributing to this war. Yes, governments are crappy, but us, the consumer, are contributing to this war. You don't need a phone every year. You don't need a new computer every year. You want to stand on something? Stand for that. Stand for that. And I will end it here. There's a lot that I did not cover. The latest update is that the rebels have taken over Goma, which is the biggest city in the region. And the reason why that's bad is because a lot of people who are fleeing the small towns where the big minerals are in Goma. That's where the refugee camps are. That's where the displaced people are. You have an entire city filled with tents of people not knowing how they're going to live their lives. So them taking over Goma is bad because it's a potential of a new humanitarian crisis, because where are these people going to go? These people are fleeing by foot. And Congo is a big place, you know. There's no good roads. There aren't any good roads and everything. So please talk about Congo. Talk about it. And stop buying a goddamn phone every single year. And call your senators, because they know this is happening. We need the minerals for our military. We need the minerals for our technology. So trust me, Congo is important. The government doesn't mind selling minerals to private companies. There's a lot of private companies in the Congo. The mining companies, we don't have a Congolese mining company. They don't exist. All the mining companies that are in the Congo mining the minerals are foreign or international companies from France, the United States, Canada, China. So the problem is not that you don't have access to the mineral. You do. But please have access to it in a humanitarian way. And the reason why some of them do not hold humanitarian standards because of us, the consumer, who demand so much. So that's my spiel for this morning. Hopefully, maybe one day I will do a bigger deep dive, but I hope that you have understood sort of like the main points of this conflict. Thank you for listening. Have a good Sunday. Bye.